So there's a movie that came out in 1998 starring Nicolas Cage. The name of the movie is called Snake Eyes. In the movie Snake Eyes, there's a guy who was a politician. His name is Charles uh, Kirkland. Dude gets shot on September 10th. They, were- he was watching a boxing match. It was he got shot on the neck. You know, everyone saw it happen. They were watching a match. The guy that was fighting, his name is Tyler, the executioner. You know, one thing that I've realized about life is that it has a strange way of repeating the same story, but in different ways. Ever realize that? Like when you look at your own life, you're like, but I've seen this before, like I've experienced this before. Yes, there are some things that are different about the situation. Maybe I'm not experiencing this with the same people, but I've experienced it before. That kind of coincidence is weird. A guy by the name Charles Kirkland gets shot in public. He's watching a match. The guy who's fighting is Tyler, the executioner. Like the name, the executioner. That's weird, right? On which day? September 10th. What kind of coincidence is that? Does that even make sense? Like, is that supposed to be possible, in your opinion? What happened to Charlie is something that the whole world witnessed. 27 years later, after the movie was made, that's when it happened. The last video that I published, I said we're scared, but we're not scared enough. And that's the reason why we're not asking enough questions. When we talk about these things, um, it's almost as if we are just having fun. Like there will be things that will happen that are a little too strange for people to not be concerned. You watch uh, the Simpsons episode, for an example, and they're predicting the future for real. And we make videos about it. We post these videos on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook. But I don't know if we are concerned enough. I don't know if we're asking ourselves enough questions about what it really means, you know? Because it mustn't be that easy to predict the future. I remember last week I was having a conversation with someone. I was like, I think it's actually possible to predict the things that are going to happen in your life if you look at your past. If you look at the things that happen in your life, you can like predict what's going to happen in your life in the end. Because the story has always been the same, just a few changes, but it's just the details that won't be the same, but um like the plot is like the same, right? When you look at your own life, you realize that the plot is always been the same. It's just the difference has always been the details. I like the last Matrix movies because the last Matrix movie because it demonstrates what I'm saying, perfectly. Like when they showed us how like what happened on the first Matrix movie, but it was different characters, right? It wasn't the same characters. Um, but what happened was the same. And Neo is just remembering some of the things that happened, but like as a dream, right? Not as something that is real. Guys, let's like the life. I'll be back in like a minute. I'll be back in a minute. And we are back. We are back. We are back. There's a scene in the movie The Truman Show. If you watch my videos and you still have not watched The Truman Show, I don't know. Like it's one of the movies that I truly recommend. It's one of the movies that I'm like, you have to watch it. You know, it and it would actually be great if you watch The Truman Show. If you've not watched it before and you've been a person like who watch my videos a lot, like it'll actually be like, trust me, you'll enjoy the movie. But yeah, there's a scene in The Truman Show. Um, the lady that uh actually loved Truman, the lady that was going off script. Remember, in the movie The Truman Show, everyone except Truman was acting, right? Everyone in his life was actually acting. And he didn't know that. He was the only one who didn't know that. He was born into a world that was fake, but he didn't know that. Everything that he had to go through was scripted. There was someone who was deciding what's going to happen in his life, but he had no clue. You see, the people that he trusted the most, they were acting. His parents were acting. The people he dated were acting. Um, the friends were acting. Everyone, like sometimes I think we don't think deeply enough about what that really meant. So every person, you see, if he wakes up in the morning and is going to work, the bus driver is acting. That random stranger in the street that he says hi to is acting. That person that stole something from him is acting. That person that said something that triggered him is acting. And he's the only one who's like, oh, the whole thing is real. So the lady that was really concerned about what was happening, she was also supposed to have been like an actress in his life, but she loved him too much to lie. She loved him too much to act, right? So she would try to tell him that no, listen, it's not real. All of this is not real. The whole thing is scripted. And whenever she would try to tell him that, they'll come and take her away and say she's mad. She has a mental illness. That is why she's saying that. And she tried many times to tell him. She tried many times to wake him up. But um my favorite scene was when it's just I don't really remember. I have to watch this movie again because it's been a while since I watched it. But when she was acting, she was supposed to act again because they want the reason why they wanted her to act again is because she was the one that he truly loved, right? So she asked the question. She kind of like looked at the cameras and she said, "Where does it end? Where does it end?" One of the biggest questions that we have as humans is, where did it begin? Where is it going? And where does it end? Like how? You know? And the reason why is because we were never given the answers. And this does feel more like the Truman Show. This does feel like it's scripted. When you look at what happened to someone like Charlie, you're like, the whole thing have to be scripted. Why does the movie Snake Eyes show us exactly what happened to the guy? The names are similar, you know, but it's strange that the names are actually similar. The guy who got shot, Charlie Kicklin, uh, they were watching a boxing match. Tyler, the executioner. How is that even possible? The date that it happened, September 10th. The guy was shot in the neck. Like, it's not supposed to be possible. So it tells you something about this reality. Of course, they will make movies that are revealing something to us. And I think sometimes it's not intentional. The way that I look at it, it's like if you're a liar, right? You lie about something or you lie about a lot of things. One day you're going to expose yourself, right? One day you are actually going to expose yourself. So I think that's how it happened. I think this thing is scripted. The movies that were being shown, like everything, the technologies that were being given, everything is scripted. The story that we've been given about, the past, it's crazy that what we've been told about our origin really doesn't make sense. But if it was true, uh, that would mean that we are not doing like the whole thing shouldn't have started in the first place because now people are in shock, people are scared, people are tired, people are not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone is confused now. That is why a lot of weird things are happening. I've never seen a year where weird things happen like this year. It makes you wonder how next year is going to be. Like a part of me is always asking what's next. When I open um when I open Facebook, I'm like, what's next? What am I going to hear? What am I going to see today? Like things that are shocking every day are happening. Like we're in this like state of shock as humanity. It's like we're used to it. But where does it end? Does it ever end? And how does it end? The fact that what's happening in our lives is very similar to what was happening to Truman in the Truman Show tells us something about the whole thing. It seems like whatever is normal to believe about life isn't the truth. Like, if you truly want to know what is going on, you have to be willing to be labeled crazy. Like, it needs to get to a point where you don't even seek approval anymore. You're like, I don't care what others think of me. What I want is the truth, and I'm going to be brave enough to pursue it. So, if the truth is going to be something that makes me look crazy, or that's going to make people turn their backs on me, that's going to make people judge me, it's okay, because that's what truly matters to me. You see, Truman in the Truman Show, if what mattered to him the most was approval, if what mattered to him the most was people saying, you are saying you're normal, just like everyone else. Wow, the things that you're saying are so true. We agree with what you're saying. Do you think he will have been able to realize the truth? His friends were making sure that he doesn't realize the truth. Wife was making sure he doesn't realize the truth. His mom was making sure he doesn't realize the truth. You know what I'm saying? There was no one, well, except for the lady, that he could trust. It was only that lady, and that lady in the movie, she was labeled crazy. Like, the people who controlled that world, that fake world, said she was crazy, even though she was the only one who was real, even though she was the only one who was telling the truth. What does that tell you about this world? Ever realize that those who speak the truth, they are labeled crazy? Those who are real, those who live life the way that it should be lived, those who are themselves. Like, if you are truly yourself in this realm, trust me, you are going to be labeled crazy. And it must make us wonder, what does it even mean to be a human? Is being a human, you know, being a slave, being this thing that is controlled, that has been programmed to act a certain way, to behave a certain way, to be normal, to be like everyone else. Or it's you being you. It's you doing things that people don't even think of. Like, damn, why? How did that person even think of doing that? Right? Where does it end? I think I think people are tired, bro. I've watched so many videos about the rapture that everyone thought was gonna happen. Maybe not everyone. There's some people who actually believe that the rapture was gonna happen. The guy actually found a way to make it seem like he didn't lie. He said the calendar that we're using is in the same calendar that God is using. I laughed when because he went back to the podcast that he was on, when he said that the world was ending on the 23rd of September. So yeah, he went back and he said, no, no, no. I prayed to God and asked, why did you tell me that the world was going to end on the 23rd? um and now I'm embarrassed. Like, why? He prayed, and God answered. He was like, no, I'm not using your calendar, I'm using a different calendar. So the world is still going to end, but now I think it says it's going to end on the 6th of October or something like that. I wonder what excuse is going to come up with next. But There were a lot of people who were devastated that the world didn't end. And that tells you something. Like people who believe in Christianity were looking forward to that happening, right? Like they genuinely wanted the world to end. So that tells you something. Like when you are having an experience and you're having fun, you're truly enjoying the experience. You don't want it to end. You want it to last a while longer. But if people are like disappointed that it didn't end, you see, they're not disappointed that uh it that might mean that what's written in the Bible might be false. No, no, they don't feel like it might be false. They're just disappointed that it didn't end. They wish that the rapture can actually happen and they go back to the place that they call home. How do you imagine the whole thing is going to end? James Bond says, "Just why they live again today." Lol, a classic. You see, the guy when he first started wearing those glasses and he realized what was going on, and he started to, he started to act differently until those aliens noticed that, oh, this guy can see us. He automatically became a target. He became a targeted individual. He was not a criminal. He just automatically became a targeted individual. Why? Because he was able to see. I remember telling you guys that I think the reason why many of us had to experience a lot of traumatic experiences, especially when we were young, is because we were targeted from the beginning, right? And the plan was to damage us in a way that will make it almost impossible to function. I've interacted with a lot of people and I'm like, damn, you smart. But then they tell me about their experiences in life and like, how the hell did you go through that? Like it doesn't even make sense. Like it doesn't make sense that a human being in 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 in, in their lifetime can go through all these things. You realize that the whole thing happened so that they can become less than what they are. Because if they didn't go through these things, they would be way better than they are. So now they are living in fear, they are anxious, they believe that they are, they believe that they might have like a mental illness, even if sometimes it isn't even the case. I think the people who can actually tell you what is going on in the world are the people who are not accepted by society. I keep on telling you that the whole thing is a lie, the whole thing is not real, right? It's a cult. In a cult, truth is invalued. A lot of people don't even realize this. In a cult, truth is any kind of cult, any kind of cult. Truth is invalued. In fact, truth is the biggest threat in a cult. So yeah, in the movie They Leave, the guy he was targeted by the aliens and even the humans. There were some humans who actually knew what was going on, but they didn't take humanity side. They didn't care really. And the people that he tried to wake some people up. They didn't believe him at first because the truth was stranger than fiction. Until he gave them the glasses, like, yo, look, 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 do you see what I see? And then they were shocked. But yeah, They Believe is one of the movies that you must watch. The Leave is definitely one of the movies that you must watch. It's a very, very brilliant movie. I love movies that have a message, but the message isn't very clear. It's up to you how you interpret what's happening in the movie, right? There's a reason why people who are waking up are drawn to these kind of movies. Almost every person that I've had a conversation with about what's going on, if they know about these movies, they've watched The Matrix, they've watched They Live, they've watched Truman Show, they've watched Dark City, um, they've watched TV series like Black Mirror, one of my favorite. You can even recommend more movies here. They've watched movies like Vanilla Sky. It's not even a popular movie. Vanilla Sky is not a popular movie. But they've watched these movies, right? Someone says Fight Club a good one. Yeah, yeah, Fight Club is a good movie, man. What I like about Fight Club is that it shows you your potential as a person. You know, like it's. Let me ask you a question, and this is not about success in this realm or anything like that, because if you've watched my videos, I don't really care that much about that. Like, yeah, you can get this, you can get that. I care about you being you, like being 100% you without any fear. Like you being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it without being afraid. When you watch movies like Fight Lab, do you feel like if I were to ask you, do you feel like you are behaving in a way that you'll say is 100% authentic? Or maybe you are living in fear. You might find that the way that you're living your life is like 20%. I'm not talking about success, like, hey, working hard and all of that. I mean, you actually doing things, you taking action, be like, this is what I want to do. Would you say you are living at 100% or at a 20%? Because what I've noticed about a lot of people is that they are somewhere around 20, between 20 and 30%. Like, there's so much fear that people are not able to be themselves. You're afraid of being judged, you're afraid of being rejected, you're afraid of being hated. You know what I'm saying? Like you focusing more on survival. Like that's what really matters to you. It's survival. So the movies like Fight Club show you your potential. Like actually you can be better than you. Like if someone was given your body, someone who cared less, someone who was less attached, someone who was more about action than thinking, what do you think they will do? T Time says, yo, Benedictine, do you watch Daylight, the rapper? Do his deep talks or do his deep talks? I think you'd like his outlook on life. I'll answer that T Time. I'm gonna be back in a sec. We're on dating like this. Let's just keep on liking the life. It's gonna go on for a while, so let's keep it going. I'll be back in a while. Do I watch Daylight, the rapper? Yeah, I love his talks, man. I watch a lot. I watch a lot of rap battles, So Daylight was one of my favorite. So I watch his talks. I actually follow him on Instagram. But my problem is like when you talk like the people who are pro black or people who are pro white or people who are pro something in general, like I feel like sometimes they limit themselves, right? And I think daylight is pro black. There's my only problem with daylight. I think if you truly want to wake up, you need to see past race. Like this thing of black people are like this or white people are like this we need to forget all of that. It doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter, bro. There are black people who are conscious, white people who are conscious, Indian people who are conscious. So to be talking about, hey, black people are this and that, they're better than in this way, and I don't know if that's taking us anywhere. I think it limits us. It makes us racist. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a good thing. So that's my only problem with daylight. But I enjoy watching his talks. I think it helps you think. You know, I like people who think outside the box. You know, people who will say things that other people are afraid to say, or who would realize things that other people do not realize because they're too damn normal, right? Like normal isn't good in a realm like this. You mustn't be trying to be normal. I don't think that's how you set yourself free. You know, you must not be afraid to be abnormal. So yeah, I love daylight. But there are some things that he says that I don't agree with. So what did I miss? Like Drake. Ever ask yourself how your life ends? Like how do you think the whole thing is gonna end? Like where does it end? Sometimes it doesn't feel possible that it can end. It does feel possible that this can end, but not life itself. It's like there will always be existence. But how do you think the life like here is going to end? Like the whole thing, not existence itself, but the whole thing is going to end. Do you think it will be something that we all see coming? It's something that we will be ready for. But like, oh, this is happening. It's actually happening, right? Or do you think it will be just random and then it will start over again? Because that's what scares me. But yeah, it does seem like a circus, man. It doesn't seem like something that is real, something that should be taken seriously. It seemed like something is enjoying watching the nonsense that is going on, the same way that people were watching Truman in the Truman Show, right? Not really caring about his feelings, laughing at him when he will, be dealing with something that he feels is real and all of that. It's actually scary when you think deeply about it. Ever since I was a child, I kind of felt like, and I know this is strange, but I kind of felt like some people knew me more than I knew myself. Does that make sense? It's like some people actually know you. Like they know you, right? They know what's going on. They know that you don't know anything. And that is why they behave a certain way. Like a stranger that you meet when you go to the mall, right? You talk to that stranger and you kind of feel like they know something about you that you don't even know about yourself. You're like, why do I feel that way? Why do I feel like you kind of know me? So it feels scripted. If you pay attention to everything, to every interaction that you have with people, to the things that happen, when these things happen, all of that counts, you know. I remember I told you this story. I went to there's this place called Atteridgeville in Pretoria. I used to stay there when I was living in Johannesburg. It's not that far from Pretoria, but kind of is. So someone stole my laptop when I was living in Johannesburg, right? Someone stole my laptop, so I needed to go and find the box, like, because so that I can find the serial number. I remember where I put the box. I knew that no one took it, so I went to actually, but I didn't have money. I didn't have money. I just went there, and I was supposed to use a train, but trains weren't moving that day, so I used a taxi, so I had to pay more. So I did get the box, I did get the serial number. When I was coming back, I realized that, oh shoot, I don't have money to go back to Johannesburg, and I'm in Pretoria, right? I'm in Pretoria. I don't have enough money to go back to Johannesburg. It's around 6 p.m. I'm like, damn, this is bad. What do I do? That day, I made close to 200 in less than 30 minutes, which is not easy to do by approaching strangers. It even got to a point where I was just doing it for fun. I'm approaching strangers like, yo, I have this problem. I need money. I have this problem. Listen, if I decided that day, because I made like making 100 and something rand in 30 minutes, that's a lot of money. If I decided that day that that's how I'm going to make a living, I'm just going to, like, now I found a glitch. I found a loophole in the matrix, right? I wasn't going to make shit. There will be days when I will go out and try to make money and I will not even be able to make a cent. It's like the whole matrix is watching. It's like, oh, this guy found a loophole now. We can't let his life be that easy. You know what I'm saying? So it does feel scripted. It's like there are days when you really need help that you get it, but it doesn't mean that you always get it. Like, it's not supposed to be that easy. It's like every time when you find a loophole, something is going to happen to ensure that things don't always go your way, you know? If you found a way to make money, like if making money was like became too damn easy for you, what will happen is there will be things that will prevent you from making money again. It's like if you are into gambling, right? And the first time you try to gamble, it works, and you find that you can, like, you have better, like, you can actually win more consistently than you can lose. But then something will happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like it cannot be that easy. Your life cannot be that easy. Life is scary. Says you, I caught the life. um, yeah, awesome. No, thanks. Thank you so much for the super thanks. Just that I don't say the whole name, but I think that's amazing. Thank you so much for the super thanks. Thornbite says intuition, it's a problem. Why do they know something we don't consent to letting them know about us? It means consciousness is sharing information like computers on the same network. Yeah, I think it's just scripted. I think there's like another person will know something about you because the whole thing is scripted. Just like in the Truman Show. You see, people knew more about Truman than he knew about himself, and they wouldn't tell him. So it's not because they were have they had access to what was going on internally. No, they just knew more about what's going on in his life because they were shown what was going on in his life. And I have a feeling that this realm is like the Truman Show. Like it's not really what it seems. That's why I'm saying it's important to pay attention to everything. Every person that talks, like if you are out in public and a stranger comes and talks to you, listen to what they're saying. Why, like, pay attention to everything. They might tell you something that kind of like exposes this room. People can tell you what's gonna happen without intending to, and then it happens, and you're like, huh? I had a conversation with this person, and they actually kind of say that this will happen. Why did this person come and talk to me at this time? Why did I meet this person at this time? Ever met a person and you're like, I met this person at the right time? And not because good things happen. Sometimes you can meet a person at the right time and then bad things happen. You like, if I didn't meet this person at this time, then bad things wouldn't have happened, right? But sometimes you meet a person at the right time and then good things actually happen. You're like, I don't know, man, this is weird. It's like, why am I meeting this person at this time? Like this, there's been there would have been plenty of times when I could have actually met this person. Why now? How does that even happen? They are minus. Thanks for another super thanks. I listen to your videos every day and it's so beautiful seeing other open-minded Africans. Your videos help me so much. Sorry for the interruption. First time catching a live. Oh, where are you from in Africa? Where are you from in Africa? Because it's rare to. I mean, at least these days I do, like, a lot of people from Africa do watch my videos, but there was a time when there were like really few African people who watch my videos. But yeah, if you look at life the same way that you like look at movies, it will make sense to think that the whole thing is scripted because it seemed to be unfolding in chapters. I remember telling you guys about the kind of TV series that I like, where like an episode, like the characters in the episode are kind of like going through similar things. Let's just say the episode is called "Why Did You Lie to Me?" So you find that some characters, maybe they were lied to by their wives. Some characters, maybe they were lied to by their parents. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of like going through the same thing. So life is kind of like that. It unfolds in chapter. There will be there will be a chapter in your life where things keep on happening to you that you know wouldn't happen around the same time if the whole thing wasn't scripted, right? Like you're like, damn, man, like this happened, and then today this is happening, the next day this is happening. It gets to a point where you can't even explain it to other people. You can't even explain how weird it is to other people because they'll look at you and be like, "You crazy? How can you even think that?" This room needs us to keep our eyes open, and I don't think you should be ashamed of what you believe or what you think about existence, about reality. You know, at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide what is going on as the one who is having the experience. So if your conclusions about what's going on is crazy, then it is. It's fine, but at least you would have been the one to make your own conclusions, right? That's why I love listening to people who have their own perspectives of what's going on. Like people who will tell you what they think, no matter how crazy it is. If someone tells me this is a simulation, I'm like, beautiful. Like, it, I might, even if I don't think it's a simulation, but at least you are thinking outside the box. You're not like everyone else. Thanks for another super thanks, Cameroon, but I live in the USA. Literally everything you say in your videos is what I think. It, actually what I've realized is that a lot of people who are from Africa, they do watch my videos actually. Like they are from Africa, but they live in the USA. Like it's rare for a person who's from Africa and who lives in Africa, but who watch my videos, right? Cameroon is where Francis Ngannou is from, right? I'm a big fan of MMA, so and I think yeah, that's the only person that I know from Cameroon. But yeah, sometimes people who feel like the whole thing is scripted or who feel like they're being targeted, they seem crazy, right? And it's easy to make them seem crazy. I remember I was watching this documentary about people who believe that they are targeted, and you can see that the documentary was made to make them seem like they're stupid or there's something wrong with them and they just need help. But you listen to them and you're like, some of the things that you're saying actually make sense. I think people who are conscious are being targeted in this room. And it started when they were young. And that is why I keep on telling you guys that try your hardest to rise above your anxieties, your fears, all the things, all the emotions that are holding you back. Try to rise above these emotions because they are only there to keep you under control. You see, you could find that you are more conscious than everyone else, but you are living like everyone else because of fear. Like you are so damn afraid that there's no difference between you and a person who's operating at a low level of consciousness because uh, it boils down to actions at the end of the day. So you are doing the same things that the people that you call NPCs are doing because of fear. So you are more conscious than them, but you're not living life like you're more conscious than them. You're living life like you are just like them. And that's because of what was done to you when you were growing up. You might find that you grew up um, like abusive household. Your parents were abusive, your siblings were abusive. Like you always felt like you were the only one who was being singled out. If you've watched the Boondocks, there's this episode called "The Story of Uncle Ruckus." Like we were shown what Uncle Ruckus went through, and we're like, "Damn, that's crazy." You find that you go through something like that, right? Like your own parents treat you like you're not their child. It makes you ask a lot of questions. Your siblings make you feel like you're not part of the family. Trauma affects us more than we would like to admit. You see, so when we get older, we struggle to function because of what we went through when we were younger. So I think we must try our best to rise above our emotions because I think that's how we get control. Like some of us are not easy to control. Some of us are able to see beyond everything. So you, you find that now your worst enemy is your feelings, your worst enemy is yourself because of what you went through. And it's not easy to beat trauma, it's not easy to outsmart trauma. It's kind of like it's like it becomes part of you, you know. So it's like you're trying to beat a part of you that you don't like. That is almost impossible. I'll be back in a sec. Let's keep on liking the life. Um, now we're on 17. Thanks for the likes. Let's keep on liking the life, guys. I'll be back in a second. And we are back. Black hole, exactly. I struggle with this crap every day. The bronzed irony says, why does this room always make stuff up for you to get invested in it? Yeah, man. It's this is something that I've realized actually. If you detach yourself from everything, there will be things that will happen to make you invested, right? If you're going to be totally like you're like, you know what, I'm not even going to care about anything at this point, right? I'm not going to take anything seriously. There will be things that will keep on, like if you decide to go online and you are truly detached from things, there will be things that will trigger you, that will make you want to do some research about something, right? So that you will be invested in something. It's more. That's why I'm telling you that it's more like being in a Truman Show, right? If Truman in a Truman Show was detached from things, the whole thing wouldn't be entertaining. You find that he was not interested in anything. He was just that guy who just wakes up in the morning, eat popcorns, and yeah, even when he goes to work, he doesn't really care much. If his boss tries to mess with his emotions, he doesn't care. He's not reacting. He's like, it is what it is. I understand that, you know, this is a hell realm. Or it's all a show. It's not even real. So I don't care, right? They will try to make him care. They will try to make him take it seriously. So you, when you pay close attention, you realize that there've always been things that were happening in your life, so that you will take the whole thing seriously. Like it's not easy to be detached from this. If if you're a guy who um like used to approach women a lot, you'd notice something. Let's say you approached a woman and she didn't like you. Like you approach this lady, you talk to her, and she doesn't like you, but you see her regularly. Maybe you work in the same place, so you see each other every day. So you approached them, said no, I have a boyfriend, or I don't like you, this and that, whatever. And you decided to stop pursuing her. You're like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna stop pursuing her completely. She comes back to you. You're not giving her attention anymore. You are detached. So now she comes back to you so that you will be invested. That's how this reality works. It's like once you are detached, this reality is like, oh shit. This guy is no longer stressing when things happen. This guy is no longer that serious. So we need to find a way to get him interested. We need to find a way to get him invested, and then boom, you're invested again, and then you know the whole thing continues. Blake, oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah, in South Africa, it's damn, now it's about to rain again. It's 2 past 5, actually, a.m. I think it's about to rain again. There's thunder. It hasn't rained in a while, so it seems like that's about to happen again. Sound Boys Paradise. I saw a video where they were saying anywhere from 40 to 60% of people are NPCs. I think the number is much higher than, like, I think a lot of people that we interact with are NPCs for real, bro. I refuse to believe that people can be dead unconscious if they're real, bro. Like I refuse to believe that. I've interacted with a lot of people and I'm like, nah, man, we can't be that different, you know. If we are all here having experiencing what it's like to be a human, there will need to be time when we ask ourselves the deepest questions. So if you interact with people who don't seem like they've asked themselves these deep questions about existence, then you should be you should be suspicious. Like, how is it that you have not asked yourself questions about existence? If I've been asking myself questions about existence, you never ask yourself, where did it all start? You just believe whatever you're told. You don't ever ask yourself what's really going on now. You don't ask yourself, how does it all end? Like, to you it doesn't matter, and you are a human being like me, who was born in a world that they don't understand, but you're not asking any question, not even a single question. Obviously something is wrong, right? We must be asking questions. It's part of being humans. Human beings are curious. Human beings want to know. Let me tell you something. If they said that tomorrow they are going to tell us about aliens, I'll tell you that there will be very few people in the world who will be watching. Very few people in the world. There are people that you know, the people that you work with, who will not even care. Why will they not care? If they said they were about to tell us about our origin, like they're about to tell us the truth about our origin, there will be very few people who would be interested. But if you talk about the rapture, like everyone will be interested, like the stuff that you know that are not even real, you know? That tells you something. People must be interested. We must want to know what is going on. It's human nature to want to know, to want to understand what is going on, especially if you have no clue what is going on. Like, you automatically want to know what is going on. So if you don't care at all what's going on, then people then we must be suspicious. We must not trust you the same way that we trust people who are asking questions, right? People who are curious, people who are observing everything that is happening, people who are wondering what's going on. Sometimes what people call mental illness is not even that at all. It's just how a human should feel having to survive in a world that they do not understand, in a world that confuses them, in a world that doesn't play by their rules, in a world that doesn't really make sense. And that is why you must be careful when, trying to diagnose yourself, like, oh, I suffer from this, I suffer from that. And I see this a lot, with people who grew up in Western countries. They'll be like, I suffer from, but people who grew up in Africa, they never feel that way. Like, they have, mental illnesses. Like, we never truly believed in that. We And I'm not saying you don't struggle, right? I'm not saying you don't have, like, condition that you're struggling from. I'm saying there is something that your condition is telling you about the world. And if you pay close attention, you realize what it's actually telling you, you know? So before you judge yourself, judge the world around you. Before you say, um uh, I feel this way because of me. I feel this way because of me. It has nothing to do with other people. Like, judge the world around you. This world is not what it seems. And that's what you must keep in, like, that's something that you must never forget, that this world that seems real is not even what it seems. It's actually, like, it's a world created to fool you. Basically, this is what it was created for. Like, it's fooling people. It's fooling people into believing that it's something that is real, even though it's not. You know, you're supposed to think, I'm having an experience that is real. I'm in a world full of people who are having their own experiences. When you believe the story, you automatically suffer. Like, when you believe the story is real, you automatically suffer. You'll be like a dog that is watching TV and that is seeing other dogs, and it's barking. That's why I'm telling you that detachment is really the answer. It's you being as detached as possible. And that is hard. It's not easy, bro. It's not easy to not be invested in the story. I know how difficult it can be. And like I told you, that the more you try to be detached, the more this room throws some BS at you so that you will be invested, so that you will take the story seriously. So when the room sees that, oh, this one is detached, boom, throw some shit at you, and now you are automatically attached. It's how this realm works. That's immense. It's so sad that we are created to judge and hate each other more than the world that we are in. Yeah, man. And it's obvious because it's always been like that. And if you pay attention to how people treat one another, you'd realize that there is no love. You know, if you pay attention to what people say about one another, you realize that there is no love. People gossip, and you'll be able to tell that, oh, this person is not gossiping about this person because of love, because they care or anything like that. It's actually because they don't like this person. If you are conscious enough, you'll be able to realize if someone is gossiping about another person, uh, because maybe they are just mad, or if they're just jealous, or they just don't like that person. Like, you can tell people gossip about one another all the damn time, bro. All the time. It actually gets annoying if that's not what you're interested in as a person. I'm interested in conversations about the universe, about consciousness, about existence, about our history, about feelings, about opinions, all of that, but not about people. And like, it doesn't, like, just conversations about other people, I find them very boring, right? And I don't care what's going on in another person's life, unless they are the ones who are telling me what's going on in their lives. So you can tell that people were programmed to not love one another, to judge one another, and the most fucked up thing about it is that everyone thinks they're right. Even the person who's oppressing you, they feel like they're right. They can actually justify oppressing you. You see? Can you imagine someone torturing you and being able to justify that? Like, according to them, it's actually okay to torture you, right? Boozy, where are you from? This has to be a South African name, bro. Yep, it's more acceptable to hate people about some things, but it's unacceptable to hate this realm, to hate this world. Then you get called it. I would say hating this world, not hating people, but hating this world is a sign of enlightenment. Because think about it, as a conscious being who wants better, who wants what's better, you will automatically hate what is not good. See, if you live in a world where there's war, you live in a world where people don't actually love one another. And I wanna show you something, actually, because sometimes when I say people don't love one another, people think that, oh, it's just an opinion. People do no, bro. If if when people, like, who are friends, for an example, are not together at a time, and they're talking about each other, that's when they actually speak the truth. So they can actually hide how they feel about each other when they're together. If they're jealous of each other, they might hide that. But when they're with other people, they might not actually want to show that they're jealous, but they can expose themselves because of the things that they say. Like, if you were to read people, like, if you were able to read people's minds, and know exactly what they're thinking, you realize how hateful people are. Like, you'll be shocked. Like, if you knew what people think of you, you'll be shocked. The people that claim to love you, the people that you work with, people who are tolerating you, you will be shocked. People are told, they've been programmed since they were young to be nice, to pretend. So even if they don't like you, they're supposed to pretend as if they like you, if that benefits them. It's the kind of realm that we live in. I've seen this a lot, and it's so damn scary, bro. I've seen friends gossip about each other, and I'll be like, because here's the thing, man. You can gossip about another person because maybe jokingly, right? You're joking about some situation, whatever. But there is to say things that you can tell that no, this is coming from hate. That's why when I die, bro, I don't even want a friend to speak at my funeral. Like you have to understand what is being done to us as humans. We are not supposed to love. You know, the amaze. No, thanks for another super thanks. Thank you so much for another super thanks. Can you do a live panel sometime? I would love to join. So sorry for the inter. No, no, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Actually, one of the reasons why I'm doing lives is so that uh, I can read the comments. Uh, I don't know how else to send messages of like. No, there's a Discord. Let me actually drop the Discord link here so you can join. But you're right about that. No, let me drop the Discord link quickly. Um, invite. All right, guys. I'll be back in a second. Let's keep on liking the live. Let's keep on liking the live. Yeah, I've just dropped the Discord link. You can join the Discord link. We can communicate a lot more on Discord. And usually when I do a live, after the live, I go straight to Discord. But and then we have a conversation with people. There's a voice chat there where we can chat. It's just that today, because I did this live late, I know a lot of people are sleeping, so like it's not the right time to actually go live. So we won't go on Discord after the live, but you can join the Discord. What I should do is that I should go live maybe tomorrow, and yeah, tomorrow, so that like much earlier, so that we can be able to go on Discord and have discussions. But I'll see. I'll tell you guys what we're going to do. So let's keep on liking the live. I'll be back in a second. Negative thought is the ultimate weapon of this realm. You could naturally be a positive person, and somehow your brain goes against you. I wouldn't even say your brain, but you're right. You're right. But here's how it works: the traumatic experiences that you have, like you, they limit you in ways that you don't even understand. You might find yourself doing things that are stopping you from. Damn, it's cold, guys. It's raining. I need to wear something warm. You know how it works. It's like if you if you are not supposed to speak your minds, let's just say you are this person who, like, your opinions can actually wake a lot of people up. You might find that when you're still young, people bully you for speaking your mind, right? Teachers bully you for speaking your mind. Your own parents bully you for speaking your minds. Your friends bully you for speaking your minds. So when you get older, it becomes hard for you to express yourself. You know, so you tell yourself that, oh, I'm an introvert. That is, I don't share my opinions. I just keep to myself. And you think that's who you are. I'm not saying being an introvert is wrong, but it sometimes it does happen that you experience trauma that makes it hard for you to express yourself. So now you start to call yourself an introvert. Well, that's actually not the truth. You are not an introvert. It's because of the traumatic experiences that you've had growing up, right? So that's what this room does. It's like that's why you must do things that you are afraid to do. I think it's using fear to stop conscious people from evolving. You know, as a person who's truly conscious, you if you are living in fear, it's gonna be very hard for you to evolve because that's the only thing that can actually stop you. You can see through the BS, right? You can actually see through the BS. A lot of people can't, so they don't even have to go through the challenges that you go through. But because you can, you must go through nonsense so that you won't do anything because you are living in so much fear. Um, that's I mean, I'll download Discord and check it out. Not rush at all. Thank you for all you do. No, thanks. Yeah, I do that. Like Discord is interesting. If like people used to tell me that, hey, create a Discord server, and I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? But after I created it, I realized how how like that I actually took a lot of time. I should have actually created it like sooner. But yeah, it's people are having fun on a Discord server, and that's where we actually able to have real conversations with people. So the next time I do a live, after the live, we're going straight to Discord, and yeah, guess a boy official, do things you fear to do. Exactly. Also, you're training yourself. And I keep on telling you that we don't know what is next. We don't know what comes after this. So let's say you find yourself in a room that's similar to this, and you 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 realize that you need to set yourself free. If you are still unable to do the things that you're afraid to do, you won't be able to do what's going to set you free. Even in this room, you it will be hard for you to do the things that are going to set you free because Like if you are living in fear, if you are afraid, if you are letting fear control you, it's not easy to not let fear control you. And I have to repeat this. It's really not easy. It's almost impossible, but it's not impossible. It needs to get to a point where you're like, whatever this thing feels is not real. Even the fear itself, right? It's just chemicals in your brain. There are things that you're afraid of that don't even make sense. And some of it has to do with your own trauma. Maybe you're afraid to talk to strangers because when you were young, something happened when you spoke to a stranger. Maybe you're afraid to express yourself because when you were young, something happened when you express yourself. You're afraid to travel because when you were young, something happened when you travel. You know what I'm saying? People have phobias. People are afraid of things that other people, don't understand why they're afraid of these things. Like this thing is totally harmless, but you're afraid of it. And people justify their phobias. There are things that I used to be afraid of, but because I kept on forcing myself to face that fear that I had, it got to a point where I was in. Let me tell you something. I used to be afraid to go live, no matter how crazy that may sound. There was a time when I would just make videos where I would just like I'm just making videos. I'm never gonna go live. I don't know how I'm gonna interact with people while live, right? There was that fear. The first time when I went live, there was fear. I was afraid because you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're not gonna make mistakes. You don't know if you're not gonna say things that you don't mean to say. Like there are a lot of things that you're afraid of, right? But I did it the first time and it got that well. I didn't express myself the way that I wanted to express myself. I didn't know how I should be when I'm going live. But the more I do it, the easier it becomes. It gets to a point where there's zero fear. Like I'm not afraid to go live at all. I'm super comfortable because it's something that like it's the fear that I kept on facing. So one of the biggest mistakes that you can make in this realm is to justify your fear and be like, "Yeah, I understand why I'm afraid. I'm afraid because of this and this." And it's true. It's good to understand why you're afraid, but to justify it that I must be afraid, I must continue being scared. That's really a big mistake that most of us make. Like we need to constantly face our fears. Even making a video, it was not easy. Like making my first video, like to post it on YouTube, it was not easy, bro. I might have recorded the first video that I published on YouTube maybe more than 10 times, bro. I record it, watch it, and I'm like, "Ish, I'm not sure. Record it, another one, watch it, I'm not sure. Record it. And then until I decided that, you know what, let me post the video. Whatever happens, happen. At the end of the day, what really matters to me is that I express myself as honestly as I can, and that that's the reason why I decided to do this in the first place. Booze, you still haven't told me where you're from, because this sounds like a South African name. My favorite episode of Black Mirror was S season 5, episode 3, because I wish I could let scientists scan my brain, then copy it in a robot so I can have a second me. That's scary, man. That's scary. Think about it. If they can copy, listen, if they can, I don't know if this is a word, digitalize you, that is scary. Like they can torture you in so many different ways, because that means that you can actually be immortal. It can get to a point where you are actually immortal, where you can't actually die. Because if they can copy you, copy your consciousness, and make you a robot, then that means you can exist forever. They can keep on making copies of you, right? So isn't that hell? Can they even put you in a simulation in a computer and you live inside a computer and you can't even get out. Like, no, that's scary, bro. Like, that is really scary. Trust me. If there's something that I'll never allow the scientists of this realm to do is that, like, it's to copy my brain or whatever, like my consciousness, whatever. I'm never gonna allow that shit. Like, I think it's a trap. And that and what's scary is that that's where we're going. It seems like that's gonna be possible. Like 100 years from now, that's actually going to be possible. And it's something that people shouldn't, like, if I had children, I would tell them that never allow them to copy your brain. And tell your grandchildren, like, this is what their grandfather said. Never allow him to copy your brain. Like, that will be the message. Like, pass this down, you know. Unless some of them are gonna be like, I ain't gonna listen. Your granddad was crazy. But nah, man. I hope I don't get hit by lightning. There's thunder. I don't even know why it's like this. It rained yesterday, but it stopped. So I don't know how it's still raining. That, I mean, you're very wise. I think you put towards what a lot of us are feeling, but can't elaborate. No, thanks. And that's why I want you to join the Discord. Like, there's many people who feel that way, the way that I feel. So yeah, we communicate a lot. Let me drop the Discord saver for those who wanna join who haven't joined yet. Boozy, I'm from United States, live in Florida. Mm. Um, but Boozy sounds like an African name. Boozy. Because I think if it was an like if it was an American name, it would be Buzi. So once you add an H, I know it's kind of like a South African name. So I would like you to tell me a story about it. But yeah, man. It would be scary to become a digital being. It will be scary to live in another like in a sim, like if they created a simulation and then now you find yourself in it. That would be scary, bro. What I've realized about humans who have power is that they want to control. So can you imagine if someone created a simulation, they want to control you inside that simulation. Sometimes they would lie about your experience in that simulation, right? They would actually lie about your experience in that simulation. uh I think there's lightning, guys. Let me check. I want to see how bad it is, because usually when there's lightning, I switch off all my electronic devices. I don't trust this thing, man. I don't trust this realm. But again, it will be nice to go out like this. I will have given you the truth, so you'll be like, yeah, that's what and it will mean that I'll trend. They'll be like, oh, there's a guy who actually got hit by lightning while he was live on YouTube. So that will mean that my message will be heard everywhere. So I shouldn't be that scared, actually, because that's what really matters at the end of the day. It's people, getting to hear the message. But let me check what's going on outside. I'm gonna be back in a second. Let's keep on liking the live. We're on 28 likes. So yeah, that's actually good. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going. This is gonna help because I know a lot of people are not online now, but they'll be able to see the video when they wake up. People are sleeping now. There's the thing. But the more likes this video gets, the better. Right, guys, I'm back. But you are right about the copy, because in that same episode they used the robot to make music when the singer was in a coma, when the singer making song in her dreams. Um, I think I've watched an episode like that. The thing is, I don't remember watching like a lot of episodes from season 5. Actually, what was the latest season of Black Mirror? Was it season 5 or 6? Because if it's season 5 years, I've watched it. No, I think I've watched that episode. I think I've watched that episode. On the last season of Black Mirror, I've only watched one episode. The episode about that lady that was able to cru- to bend reality. Right, she was bullied when she was young, and she became a nerd. She found a way to kind of like hack into this simulation, and she would control reality, bend reality into a wheel. It was crazy. So there was an episode that I actually watched. She penned, hello from Washington, USA. Thank you for your videos. No, thank you for joining Washington, DC. Yeah, Washington, DC. I've heard about Washington, DC. So yeah, thank you for joining. What's interesting is that African people know more about America than they know about Africa. It's actually crazy. Like, I think I know a lot more about America than I know about Africa. I don't know if it's because I listen to American music, I watch American movies, watch American documentaries. I don't know. But it also has to do with the fact that a lot of African people are not like making documentaries. They like they're focusing on what's happening outside the country. So that's another thing. But yeah, man, I do believe that there are a lot of things that are gonna happen in the future that we as people have to say no to. You don't want to live in a simulation. Like if they create a simulation and say, yeah, man, you're going to have the best experiences that you could ever have. Allow us to plug you into the matrix or into this simulation. I would say no, bro. Say no. Like if there's a mistake that I'll never make, that is the mistake. I'm never making that mistake. You know, you don't want to be in a realm that someone else created, because you don't know what they're truly capable of. You might even find that that's how we got into this thing in the first place. You don't want to be in a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. If you watched, damn, what is the name of this movie where this guy, he he was a scientist. He was working with this other scientist. The scientist was much older than him, so he created a simulation. So when the guy entered the simulation, he realized that, oh damn, it's actually a simulation. So he told the people who were in the simulation that, oh, it's a simulation, and they were shocked. But what's crazy was that he was coming from another simulation. So he enters the simulation without knowing that he actually lives in a simulation. So when he enters that simulation, he tells the people who are in that simulation that they are in a simulation. But then he ended up realizing that his own world was not real. It was a simulation. So he kept on waking up and then he ended up in what he believed was the real world. But like I keep on telling you guys that I believe that in the real world we will remember everything. Like you're supposed to remember everything. Like everything has to make sense. You have to understand why you exist, what existence is, what consciousness is. Like everything, you must know everything. So if you are living in a realm where you are confused about your existence, you don't know where you come from, you don't know the difference between reality and dreams. Like when you're dreaming, you don't know you're dreaming. Like, no, obviously, it's not. base reality. Like you're not living in base reality. That's the thing. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder. Like it's kind of aggressive today. I don't want to be in a world that's controlled by another being. I think that's why I don't really like this realm, bro. I like being in control. I like knowing what's gonna happen. I like planning things. Like I believe I'm creative enough to create the experiences that I would prefer, to plan how my day is gonna be. The same way that you can plan, you can decide today that you wanna go and swim somewhere. It's not the fact that what you can't predict what's gonna happen that's actually fun. Is the experience itself. You can decide that, yeah, I want to go and swim and I'm going to have a good experience when I'm swimming, and that's it. I just want to have that experience. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to love it, even if you know what's going to happen. I told you guys that my favorite TV show is Atlanta. I remember some people on the Discord server was saying, I always say that my favorite TV show is Atlanta. I have to say it. It's I really love the TV show. There are episodes that I've watched many times, right? Like the last episode, it was all a dream. I've watched that episode many times, like many times. I still enjoy it, knowing exactly what's going to happen, because it's about the experience. You know what I'm saying? So, people saying that, oh, you knowing what's going to happen was going to ruin the fun and all of that. No, it's not. And besides, what you must realize about this room is that we're experiencing nonsense. So, yeah, if we're experiencing good things and we didn't know what was going to happen next, then that's good. But if you're experiencing nonsense a lot of times, then it gets to a point where it actually sucks. It gets to a point where you ask questions. You know, CB, yo, Ben, no, thanks for joining the live. One ZZY, my family has money but not peace. Whenever I go back to my parents' basement, my peace gets stolen. I was having a conversation with someone about what you're going through. I was like, there are some families where there seem to be money, but there's something that is lacking. And there's some families where there's no money, but what's lacking in the family where there's money, it's there. It's in the family. Like you can grow up in a family where there's no money, but there's peace. There's like people, like you find that everyone actually connect with everyone in the family. The children love the parents love the children. Brothers and sisters in that family, they love each other. Like there's closeness, right? There's unity in the family. All right, guys, we're able to reconnect. I don't know what happened. That has never happened before. Like it just told me that there was an interruption, and it was not even a network problem, because sometimes when there's an interruption, it's a network problem. So yeah, it was weird, but I found a way to be live again. So thank you for your patience. Actually, thank you for your patience. Let me paste the Discord link. Boozy says, my pastor told me if I give my life to God, I will get a 96K job and a wife and kids, which is funny because if God really knew me, you know, not to place a number of value on me. I believe money is trap. There was a time when I would go to different churches. You know, When I tell Christians that I've done what I needed to do to figure out whether Christianity was true or not, some of them don't believe me. Like I've went to many churches, prophetic churches, where prophets will call you and be like, "Yo, come to the front. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen in your life," and they'll prophesy to me and they'll not get it right. From my name, what I do, what I'm interested in, they will not get it right. And I'll be like, and these people are respected. These people, even if they get it wrong, that's another thing with Christianity, bro. It shows you that how why it was meant to damn people. Like, think of this guy, like the South African prophet who predicted the. I mean, he didn't predict anything, but he said the world was going to end on 23rd. There are people who are defending him now. There are people who are actually defending him. I don't think he has lost any member of his church. People are still going to wake up and attend his church. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to Christianity, you can get away with anything, bro. Anything. You can do the worst thing possible and people still will be on your side. That's the thing. So yeah, I've had pastors like prophesy to me and told me that, oh, my your life is gonna be like this, your life is gonna be like that, and those things never happen. And that tells you something about these religions. The other side, will you be on Discord after this? No, not today. Not today, because I went live late. But tomorrow I'm gonna go live again, much earlier. So after the live, then I'll definitely be on Discord. Every time I ask to debate, he refuses me. You mean the pastor? No, no, no. Narrows Shai is not the one who was talking about the pastor. Who are you referring to? If you even like the life, let's keep on liking the life. It's still dark outside. It's weird. Like when I checked, um, what's going on, because it's raining and there's lightning. It's still very dark. It's not supposed to be this dark. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people who are fake, they are supported unconditionally. They can make all the mistakes, but they're still supported. But if you are real, one mistake, and it tells you something. If you want to know that NPCs are real, go to different churches. You see, decide today that you'll see. You'll see, actually. Like, you'll see pastors being loved unconditionally, no matter what mistakes they make, they'll be defended. A pastor can do the worst thing that you can think of to a child, and that pastor is still defended. I'm telling you, these are things that I've seen happen. Find out that the pastor, a voice note gets released, right? A pastor is trying to initiate some kind of a relationship with someone who's underage. So the kid is smart, so she records everything. So she records everything. The whole thing goes viral, and the members of the church still defend the guy. You're like, what the hell? He doesn't stand for what he was doing. We can't keep on saying it's demons, it's this and that. He was attacked, and like, no, let's chill, bro. Sometimes we need to be real. We need to be honest. We can't keep on defending nonsense. Some guy predicted that the world was going to end on the 23rd. It didn't end. We must be able to cancel the dude. There are some people who sold their stuff because, well, people believe anything. It's crazy. It can't be like that. Mavike, Ben, what's your real first name? Don't you think having kids is absolutely worth it for some folks in this realm? Um, I don't know if you can pronounce my first name, but it's Tlantla, right? It's a South African name, so it's not easy to pronounce. But yeah, oh, do I think that having kids is worth it for some people? It depends on how you look at it. So, if it's about building a legacy, like someone like Elon Musk, right? He wants to leave some people behind who are gonna own what he owns. I would say for him it is. But if you want to be truly honest with yourself at the highest level, we need to ask ourselves what it even means to have a child. Like if I'm a person who doesn't know what is going on in the world, I don't know what this place is, why should I even be bringing children, right? If I don't have the answers, I don't know what this is, I'm not in control. So it's worth it if you are still interested in maintaining this illusion, right? But it's not if you're like you're questioning the whole thing. You don't want to continue to perpetuate this if you're questioning the whole thing. Like my biggest reason for not having children is that I don't know what the heck this is. This is, bro. I don't have the answers. I'm a deep thinker, bro. Like if there are people who think it's, I'm one of them. I think about everything all the time. I've been like this since I was young, and I can't really tell you what this is. I can tell you what I think it is, but I can't tell you what it really is. Why? Because I've never gotten confirmation that what I think it is really what it is. Right. So I still don't know what the heck this is. So so like I was saying, it depends on how you look at it. No, first she says NPCs ain't real. We all have a soul. They are just unaware. Why do you believe that we all have souls? This is a very good question. You see, we're told that there's like 7 billion humans. So you believe every human being here has a soul. Tell me why you believe that. Yes, I know that it's not toxic to think that everyone is real, everyone has a soul, and thinking that some people might not have souls, it might be that might be toxic, right? Some people can say that you are narcissist for thinking that it might make you not treat people equally because that's what you think and all of that. But tell me, why do you think that all humans have souls if we don't even know anything in this world? Don't you feel like some humans are just put here just to um make those who actually have souls or have consciousness to behave a certain way because human beings like to copy one another? Like, think about it. Tell me, I want you to tell me why you think every human has a soul. I'll be back in a sec. So I want you to think about it and then tell me, and then I'll respond to what you're gonna say. But keep in mind, I'm 19 right now. No girl ever loved me. My younger self need to love more. Now it's pointless. I love myself more than anyone could do. You think that offer with my soul. Okay, now it's pointless. I love myself more than anyone could. Do you think that offer worth my soul and sanity? Mm, one thing about like when you're still young, right? Like you are. Damn, why is this highlighted? Okay, you're still young. You're like 18, 19. It feels like being loved by a girl is like the most important thing. Like it will feel that way, you know. Love doesn't like love feels like at the time it feels like you take love more seriously than you should, right? Because it's not something that you've experienced a lot of time. Like you don't know a lot about women, you don't know a lot about relationship, so you value love more than you would when maybe you reach the age of 30, you know, age of 40, when you have like dated a lot of people. I know a lot of people when we were in high school, they were, 18, 19, they're not really dated. Then they go to college, university, and then they start dating. And, when they reach the age of 25, you find that they're doing very well with women and they start to realize that what they used to value wasn't really that worth it at the end of the day, right? Life is relationships, but what we are looking for in relationship doesn't even seem to be what we should value the most. Because when you think about like relationship between a male and a female, you think in sex, right? You think in intimacy. What we should try to be seeking for is real connection, is and it's the rarest thing, even the people that you think are getting girls and all of that, like if like they will still lose these people, or those girls will lose those, you know what I'm saying? It's how it works. Like people are shallow, like more shallow than you realize. So that's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is real connection. At the end of the day, you need something real, something that feels authentic. And a part of us is that's what we are looking for, but it's the rarest thing to find in a realm like this. That's the problem. Narration says everyone acts the same for the most part. They are just at different stages of awareness on their journey. Yeah, that's what I've realized, man. When you meet new people, it's like you've met them before because of how they act. CB, we're in a situation where anything is possible, and that's something I wouldn't doubt being that we don't know the origin of this room to begin with. So any theory that you've heard might actually like this. It is a possibility that even the worst theories that you've heard about existence might actually be true. The internet reloaded. Leo Gura and Martin Ball say taking 5 Mio DMT is a shortcut to awakening. Would you consider doing it? Um, I've taken mushrooms before. I do agree on some level, but I still think some humans are not ready, so it's better to not take shortcuts. You get what I'm saying? Because there are some people who have taken DMT and they've done some crazy stuff, right? So it depends, man. It depends on who you are as a person. So Leo might, one of his problems is that he might think that everyone is as conscious as he is, and it's not the same. Like he can deal with whatever experiences because he thinks a lot, right? But what if someone who doesn't think like him takes 5 Mio DMT and then they have this crazy experiences and now They can't even get back to reality because of what they experience. But will I consider taking 5 mil DMT? I think you know the answer to that. I think you know the answer to that. Narration, just like you might not be a good at math, but someone teaches you, now you know more. Yeah, I've always hated math. It's not that I wasn't good at it. I still am, but I'm not a fan, and I didn't like. I like philosophy. It's like when I started watching you, I had no idea you watch Leo. Um, to imagine that there are people who never question social conditioning and other social rule arbitrary made by folks is wild. That is why it makes sense to think that some people are NPCs. No, I watch Leo. He's actually my favorite because he questions things. Like you can tell that some people genuinely care about the truth, right? It's just that we all have our shadows. Like there are things that we might not see. There are things that I feel like Leo doesn't see, but he's more conscious than a lot of people that I've watched on YouTube. Like he's willing to grow. Like his willingness to grow is next level, and that's what we need. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to say, I don't know enough, and I want to know more. So I want to keep on going so I can know more. Your curiosity must torture you. So I think Leo is actually tortured by his own curiosity. People don't question anything because they are living a comfortable life. For example, boomers doesn't even mean they are NPCs. I don't know, man. I think, yeah, if you want to look at life the way that you're supposed to look at life, you're supposed to think there are no NPCs. But we have to ask ourselves why some people don't question things. I believe that in a realm like this, people should be asking questions. Buzi, as a free thinker, how do I be on autopilot? Because I need to study. Then after college, my worst fear is working a job. The problem is that it feels like most of us don't have a choice. We have to do what this room wants us to do, whether we like it or not. I know a lot of conscious people who are doing things that they don't want to do just to survive. But I do think at some point you can find a loophole in the matrix and be like, okay, let me start my own business. Let me do this. Let me do that. So you find that maybe you've worked a job before, but you want more time to evolve because it's not easy to evolve, man. Like if you wake up and you go to work and you have to, like when you're at work, you have to focus on work, bro. Like if you focus on other things, then you might not be able to function properly at work. But I do think sometimes we do find loopholes. I know a lot of people who found loopholes in the matrix, and they were able to free themselves from that. CB, when I first took shrooms, I had the feeling like I've never been here before. Hey, what do you mean? I would like you to elaborate on that. Must Vika, but one major difference between you and Leo is that he believes in God. I don't know if he believes in, because he believes is God. It's not like he believes in like some entity that's out there that exists outside of his mind. So I don't know if there's a lot of difference. The difference between me and Leo is that he thinks this is a positive experience. I don't think this is a positive experience. That's the real difference. We agree on a lot of things, but he feels that we're having a positive experience here, and I don't think we're having a positive experience. So that's the real difference. I don't think this is a positive experience. Uh, let's keep on liking the live, guys. Thank you all for joining. Let's like the live so that those who haven't watched this video will be able to watch it. Um, yeah, it was a good live. Uh, thank you all guys for all the comments, for all the questions. Let's keep on growing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the live, and also comment. Even after the live, not just on the live chat, so that especially if you have a question, so that everyone will be able to see my response to the question. What I will do is I'm also going to post the link to the Discord server, so that people who ain't able to join, they can join. So yeah, thank you all guys for joining the stream. Thank you.